Pittsburgh staples on it,
Okay.
old and new. So traditional, you got Iron City, Kennywood,
Yeah.
Turner's,
Okay.
Heinz.
Yep.
Well, who knows
Acrisure.
what the new No, absolutely not.
All right. Are you on? We got a camera for you this time.
Nice.
We need Cole
Man.
with the directors.
Guys,
The directors.
I
done.
agree. We do. Introducing Cole. This
Pointing
is
to the camera, and you're
homie from Hounds and, the most creative team in Pittsburgh. And he's been producing this show behind the scene. Thankful that I actually have a camera on you now, man, because this thing wouldn't be possible without you. And so my guest today a little bit more than I do. You've known him for a while now. So without further ado, this is the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. I want to welcome you guys in where art and sports connect through conversation. And I'm sitting here with my homie, Zach, a.k.a. Zed, owner of Zeds in Southside. If you haven't been here yet, you got to come check it out. Give me
pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Give me like a brief description of like what you got going on here for somebody who's never been here before, never seen it.
So it is, a secondhand store. We sell used and new. Used would be mostly our vintage t-shirts, hats, jerseys, jackets, a lot of sportswear, a lot of pop culture, like you said, ties into it.
Yeah. I feel like I walk into my childhood when I come into here, like everything that like
it's nostalgic. It's like you walk in and people have said it feels like your bedroom back in the day. We want it to be homey. When I first opened the store, it was and this was in 2018, April 2018. So we've been open a little longer than 4 years. And when I first opened, which you dudes may or may not have been there for the opening. And if you weren't, I'm talking to the Hounds brothers, who, by the way, I work here with my brother Chase, my homie Steve, another homie Canyon. But Chase and I are a year apart, and we get mistaken for Cole.
The first time I met you, I actually, I didn't mistake you, but I thought you guys were twins.
Yeah. Well, people ask that too all the time too. Yep. But we are a year and a half apart. But back to when I first opened the store, it was a collection of things that I'd personally thrifted, and collected, curated, whatever you want to call it. Like we said, sportswear, pop culture, brand name as well.
Yeah.
Back then it was a lot of like, I was into Polo Ralph Lauren, Polo Bears, Tommy Hilfiger, stuff like that. And it's been a ride over the years.
2018 is not that long ago though,
but which is
crazy,
especially with COVID and everything. Like it feels like it was a lifetime.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a whole like. You're lucky you have like some sort of online presence.
Right. It was a lot of uncertainty, but honestly, this entire business was like built on uncertainty. Right. I just went for it.
I love that.
Just found the storefront. Was doing pop-up shops. I started my Instagram in 2016.
Okay.
So I finished. We'll get to that, I guess. But I finished school. I graduated from IUP in 2016, and then moved to Pittsburgh shortly afterwards. Yeah. I actually.
Wait, where are you from growing up?
I'm actually from Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
IUP, 60 miles east of the city. But my dad's a Yinzer. My family's from the surrounding area of Pittsburgh. Like growing up, Pittsburgh was the city to go to. You know, like if we wanted to even to go shopping, like there was a mall in Indiana.
You would come downtown a lot?
Not downtown, but like surrounding areas of Pittsburgh. Yeah.
So like my parents avoided Pittsburgh, like the plague, dude.
Yeah,
like my dad worked downtown. He was a construction worker, so he was downtown, like either working like the Omni or like he worked for Macero, which is like a pretty giant, construction company here in Pittsburgh. And so he worked on some of the like massive projects over the last 20 years. Yeah. And so anytime,
built the damn skyline.
Dude, he got so tired of like having to deal with city stuff while he was like running a job site that like I'd be like, yeah, I want to go downtown. And be like,
just
for what?
Like
for what?
Yeah, it's got to be a
no, like I'm not going.
No, my dad, it's only certain, even now, it's like certain times of the day. He's avoiding certain areas.
And my mom won't come down still to this day. Like just no chance.
It's part of it. But we would, come down for Pirates games and you know, go to the Carnegie Science Center, and Indiana, it's close enough where like we played Pittsburgh schools in sports.
Yeah.
And we'd go to field trips just like any other Pittsburgh school would.
Right.
We'd go to the zoo and everything like that.
Same. So I'm curious because you said, you know, you messaged me and you were like, hey, we have a lot in common. I watched the intro episode and I know like we just like, there's just people that you just kind of like, you just know without even knowing. You're just like, we're like the same person. We had the same childhood. We had the same like,
it's easy stuff to do when you grow up in this area too. You know, I feel like it's like being from Pittsburgh is something that like is at your core. It's like engraved in your DNA. Like, and it's such a specific place to live. And I love living here. I have friends that live all over the US and like and everyone has their reasons why they don't want to live in Pittsburgh, but like I just like to embrace it.
Yeah. I lived in Charlotte for like 5 years.
Yeah, you said you moved. The very first message you sent, you were like, hey, you know, you had ties from the Hounds guys. And you just wanted to say what's up and hopefully we work together. And that was like 2 years ago. And you said, or maybe it was a year ago and you said you moved back in 2020.
2020 I moved back.
So that's and even then, like you said, it's kind of crazy. We opened 4 years ago, and that's like a midway point, like 2 years ago. And maybe the last 2 years were the fastest, or were the longest years with COVID and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But
so let's go back to like growing up.
Oh yeah, you said we have a lot in common.
Let's go back to that. What role did like, I know you're a big wrestling guy, big sports guy, but what role did sports specifically, and you can encompass wrestling, professional wrestling into that. Sure. What did they like? How big of a role did they play in your childhood?
I mean, sports was, especially growing up in a small town, playing sports was a big part of my life. You know, starting with like t-ball, and
my first sport was t-ball.
Yeah, hell yeah. I hated old photos.
I hated it so bad.
Really?
Yeah. My dad wanted me to play because he was a baseball player. Yeah. And I actually remember crying the day I told him I didn't want to play.
Dude, I was a sore sport back in the day. I've become a lot more chill along the way. I kind of like ditched that in my junior, like middle school years. I've just became like, I kind of realized that like, it's not that important. It's not that real, but like I would get upset.
Oh man.
At like, well, yeah, I guess
it took me a little bit longer to mature in that. I was getting in fist fights with my roommate in college over like Nerf basketball hoops, dude. Like, I'm not even kidding. The most competitive person in the world.
I mean, dude, it's like a good thing. It's like a balance, you know?
Yeah.
My dad's like competitive, so I get that from him and like can have a temper. He got tossed from a couple Little League fields, just giving the ref, speaking his mind, giving the ref an earful. But yeah, so sports was always, even just growing up, before you even think about, you know, why you're doing it. And I'm, you know, looking back, it's something that gave my life structure. And also I have two brothers. One's a year and a half older than me, and Chase is a year and a half younger than me. So we all kind of played sports together.
What would you say is like your biggest sport that you guys played?
Growing up was baseball for sure. Just because like we loved the Sandlot.
Yeah.
We loved playing backyard. Like we would play baseball in the summer, go home, play backyard baseball on our computer, our parents' desktop.
Yeah.
Did you play backyard baseball?
Yeah, dude. Of course.
Pablo Sanchez.
Yeah, dude, it was insane.
Yeah.
It was the best game.
That was my earliest memories is like baseball. But then I started loving basketball. I mentioned to you like and kind of when I started like, well, I don't know, it's cool. My parents remember a lot, and my mom took a lot of photos. So a lot of my memories come back to me from looking at old photos. And I've always loved looking at old photos. I love the history of things. So like there came a time where I'd go back to my parents and I'd spend hours flipping through old photos. And then it would bring back memories of, you know, my childhood and why am I the way that I am, which I mentioned to these dudes as well. Like, it's something I don't think about that much. I don't really even like to talk about myself that much, you know, and but it's nice to like get in touch with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like it's good too, because like so many people in the city that I've even talked to since I moved back, they know you, they've bought something from you. Even like some of the guys, you know, I know you have like some of the guys from the Steelers come through, all this, like you're just like a connection for a ton of people. So I feel like people would be interested in knowing like what made this.
I've kept my personal life. I still do. Like, that's my goal. And now that especially that I have a family, I keep my personal life separate.
Yeah.
Like I said, like being here, being Zed is kind of like my alter ego. I enter a different mode when I leave the crib and drive here. I'm trapping Zed on my way here.
Same.
But yeah. And But yeah, I guess that was all organic too. Just even along the way, like everyone that I've met, it's all about just being like a person, like, that was even opening the store. Like I love socializing and hosting, and that was part of it. It's like, I'd like to have a store where people can just pull up.
I have a vision for something similar to that someday. And I know what I recently learned that you like started as a barber, and I don't know if you still do that, but I don't know if you even want to talk about that.
No, I do. Yeah. That kind of all ties into everything. So I'm going to backtrack, because like I said, I jump from topic to topic. So
this conversation is about to be all over
one
the
place. Of the, yeah. So bear with us.
Yeah.
But, like I said, when I started getting into basketball, it was like 5th, 6th grade. And I started, really like paying attention to what I was wearing, and like being able to pick. Like my mom said, no matter what, I would dress myself. Like even in preschool, for some reason, like I'd want to wear all black, and she'd like I'd throw a fit if my mom wouldn't let me. Like
really,
and it's funny. I'll look at old photos and I'm wearing like ripped jeans, like Vans.
Yeah. Do you remember your first jersey that you had?
Yes,
you do.
I do.
What was it?
Well, dude, way young. I had like There's photos of me wearing like, those really uncomfortable football jerseys that had no breathability.
Yep.
I had this isn't even cool. The Neil O'Donnell jersey.
Block numbers.
Like, why'd you put me on that? Yeah.
I had the same year though. I had that same year. I think my parents bought me 95.
My dad one. My dad doesn't like that Super Bowl. I love the merch from it. I was 2 years old when it happened, so I have no.
See, I'm a little bit older. I was
bad blood.
What was that? 95.
I was born.
So I was like 4. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember that was my first time I actually like cared about sports. Remembering like other people caring about it, because before that, like, I mean, it was just a thing, just existed, whatever. But I remember like vividly the year they were that Super Bowl game. We went to my grandparents' house. They were hosting a party, and I remember opening the door, and my grandma had like this foam bus like head thing. Awesome. And I remember like thinking,
a cheese head, but a
bus. And I was like, so Grandma, what are you doing? Like, cause she like, never would do anything like outside of like whatever of
my
like her.
Grandma was also like, she was a diehard Steelers fan. Like she'd play us the Steelers polka when she was babysitting us and everything, but go on.
But I was just saying, like, that was the first time I remember thinking, oh, people actually care about this, and then that was shortly after when see, we do connect the dots eventually. That was shortly after when I was like, I told my dad, I was like, I don't want to play softball. I want to play football. Yeah. And I thought he'd take it like bad because he was such a baseball guy. But I remember him like being like, it's cool. And then he coached me the next year. So he was like was just like, all right, whatever you want to do. And then he was like, I'll figure out football and coach you.
Coach too. My dad loved football. That was his biggest sport.
Yeah.
But he just wanted us to play sports either way. And I mean, it was healthy for us. We were just crazy. I mean, having three boys that close, like, you gotta have something to occupy them. Like, we go to the pool, public pool in the summer, play baseball. Like I said, football came with Pee-wee, basketball. But then basketball, I think, was where I started like wearing sweatbands and stuff like that. I loved. Oh, here we go. The jersey that I remember first like picking out myself in 5th grade was an Allen Iverson jersey.
Oh, that's so dope.
And like Allen Iverson was so cool to me because I was a little dude. Like, and that's part of what I liked football. I loved football. Yeah. I was a running back.
Yeah. So were most of your role models other like people that were undersized, chip on their shoulder type guys?
But that also had a little bit of sauce on them, you know? Like, and so Allen Iverson I always thought was really cool. And that was the first jersey I remember like getting and like wearing to school. And it was the one that's like cut in half. It says just PHI, and it's sick. Like red on the bottom, white on the top.
So dope.
And that's
a great jersey. You still have it?
Dude. And then oddly, around that same time, I was like, okay, like Philadelphia sports are cool. And I'm 5th grade. It's not like I'm like I have pride in Pittsburgh. Like I thought that the Eagles were cool at the time. Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb,
great era.
Brian Dawkins. But I also like the Steelers too. At the
time. You pulled for a little bit of both.
That was in like early elementary school. But then once it was like high school, get closer to high school, it's mostly like you're just Pittsburgh a Steeler fan. Like I would just remember, like I'd actually go to games. One of my good friends from growing up took me to a lot of games. So then I embodied that.
Right.
It's such a cool experience when you are at Heinz Field. And
you mean Acrisure Stadium?
I've realized is a business more than any time from when we first opened the shop and some of the guys would roll down, and being in the South Side was a blessing in disguise because a lot of the guys would just.
Was this initially where you wanted to be?
I never really knew what I was. I was cutting hair, so I was cutting hair. Like I said, I guess we'll backtrack. So 2016, I finished up IUP, was with entrepreneurship, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management. I thought I wanted to like work in the restaurant industry and have my own little restaurant spot because that's what I did.
Really?
I worked in a restaurant since I was 15.
Damn.
Dishwashing, and then working my way up.
It's another rabbit hole we have to come back to. Is Ocean City.
That's a lifestyle.
Okay,
yeah,
we have to come back to that
because that connection. Even to this day, like if you live that lifestyle for a summer, you have like you worked at the dough roller.
Yeah.
Like one of my ex's friends worked there as well.
I found this in my closet when you texted me that. I still got
employee tee.
Yeah,
nice
employee tee.
Dude, we literally just.
I feel like if you find one of your employee tees, we should do like they do after the game, like jersey swaps. We should swap them and sign them.
I wish I would have, dude. I worked at first summer, I worked at Higgins Crab House, steaming crabs.
Yeah. So what was your connection with Ocean City? Why did you?
My parents did it back in the day.
Did you go there for summer vacations?
Yeah, Assateague Island and Ocean City.
Yeah.
And so I skateboard. I started skating when I was like 12. So I was really into baseball growing up. Liked it, but kind of I stopped playing in after Junior Legion. And then I loved basketball when I was like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. Junior high basketball was fun, and then high school it just got a little too serious for me. Like I was cool with being serious about football. We did like 6 a.m. workouts in the off season and everything.
Right.
Football was my main sport.
Would you play running back?
Running back, but dude, like I said, in Pee Wee though, I was a little dude, and like I hated getting hit. Like I broke my collarbone one time. I got hit by this massive kid as being like a 12-year-old. It's like one of those kids that was probably 13, 14, but still playing Pee Wee. I
actually liked
my style of play was just like get around the corner and take it to the house. I didn't like contact.
I liked it. And maybe that's why I played all the way through college, because I did actually enjoy it
as well.
But like it was weird. It was always me and this other dude's name's Gerald Johnson. He was like this short, stocky kid that just could like run you over. He played all the way through high school with me too, and he was just always a physical running back, and I would always be the teammate that got matched up against him in Oklahoma drills.
Dude, yeah, the Oklahoma
because they
drills,
knew like nobody else wanted to hit him, and we would have like, I would love to watch like footage of just a normal Tuesday of us doing Oklahoma drills, because we would just go at each. It would just be a thing. I'd be like sweating on the way to practice, thinking about like, I got to get him today. He got me yesterday. Like it would just be like, and I think that's where we made each other like good football players, because we had some real heated competition just on a practice field. Looking back now, it's probably not smart to be bashing my head together for like days on end.
For sure. Honestly,
as a 10-year-old.
People ask me that, like, what would I want my son to play? And I don't know, to be honest, because dude, I have injuries that still stick with me. My shoulder, imbalance my whole body. Like, I mean, I broke my tibia. I was telling you that beforehand. I broke my tibia my senior year, and I was in a cast like up to here, and it was just such a terrible time. And then that was like career ender for me. But anyway, circling back.
Where did we leave off? I don't even know.
We went from I was talking about playing basketball and baseball. Kind of lost interest in baseball earlier. Basketball lost interest when I was like 16. But I also started skating when I was 11, 12. And that was part of like, we'd go to Ocean City, we'd longboard, we'd skateboard. I love that beach lifestyle. And my parents did it back in the day. And at the time I was with a girl who had already done it for a summer. So
made it easy.
Yeah. So I got my older brother, my roommate, one of my best friends from growing up, and we all just made it happen.
That's so sick.
And I worked at...
What year was this?
2013 was so it was after my freshman year at IUP. So I lived it after my freshman year, my sophomore year, and then my junior year. And then obviously after my senior year, it's like, okay, you can't do that.
2013 was your first year going down?
Yeah.
I think I was there the summer right before you.
Okay. So I graduated high school in 2012. So like I would have been there for senior week.
I think I was I was down there for sure working that week, and a bunch of my friends, because a lot of my friends are younger than me, and they would come down for senior week. So we may have been in a party together. I don't even know.
Could have happened. But that's just like, that's common ground though. Like when you live that lifestyle. We actually, my older brother just turned 30 on Saturday, and we threw him a surprise party, and 2 two of the guys, like myself and then one of my other roommates, have you ever been to Riptides?
I don't know.
It's a beach bar. It's a pool bar on 28th Street, right on the. My brother worked at Buxy's, the Pittsburgh bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he became real good friends with the owner, who's from Johnstown.
Yep.
And he did that all 3 summers. But we just we made him all these cocktails that were specific to Riptides, this bar in Ocean City. So we still
Yeah.
Although it was so long ago, it's something that we still.
Have you been back since you lived there?
It's been yeah.
So
it's been 2 summers.
I have this very special place in my heart for Ocean City, Maryland, and I know a lot of people shit on it, and they're just Ocean Shitty or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's
all hearsay.
It is legitimately my childhood destination. We would go, and I know that makes me that puts me in a category. I don't know, it's a positive thing that was my family vacation every year.
I'd rather go there to Jersey.
But dude, it was 4th of July. We would go there. It was that week every summer, and it was just like my whole family would be there. It was just such a great time. And I actually found out the place we used to stay, the Majestic. We would stay there every summer. They're tearing it down this year, and I'm really torn up about it. I might go picket the
Dude, this is tough
demolition.
on the heart. First Heinz Field.
I know, dude. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this.
Growing up in Pittsburgh, it's you're landlocked. You don't have a whole lot of options for going to the beach. It's either you go to Maryland, you go to Jersey, or you
especially
drive
you come
really
from
far to go to the Carolinas.
Yeah, you come from a family of blue collar, it's hard for them to even get a week off.
Yeah, right.
Let alone fly to Mexico or so. That's just not happening. You know what I mean? You're going to the beach, you're driving 5 hours, 6 hours to the coast, and it's we're posting up here for a week. Don't ask me,
Dude, this all spiraled from we were talking about Heinz Field.
Is that what started this?
I'm pretty sure you're and you asked if I picked the South Side for any specific reason.
Yeah.
I was working at a barber shop down here.
Right.
And I realized that there wasn't any store like this down here. So that was, and I'd been working at a Plato's Closet for behind the scenes near Philadelphia.
What's your craziest story of telling a mom her jeans aren't worth what she thinks
dude,
they are?
thankfully I didn't have to do that. I was oddly I was dating the owner's daughter, and I was doing an internship, so I didn't really have to do a lot of the shitty grunt work.
You ever sell anything to Plato's Closet over there?
Hell yeah.
That's desperation shot if you got to, but
I mean, that's where you just bring stuff that's not worth.
But so I learned the secondhand clothing business from doing that. Yeah. And long story short, things didn't work out there. I also my heart was longing for Pittsburgh. I was in Philadelphia, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It didn't have that same feeling that Pittsburgh had. I'd come back here and visit my friends that lived here, and I was like, this is where I need to be. Plus, I'm a big family guy. Yeah. So closer to family.
That's what brought us back. Was family.
That's the things that you realize, trials and tribulations. But
for sure.
I circling back, when I finished up at IUP after my Ocean City stay.
Yeah.
I did that and then moved back here, and I was interviewing for management jobs and was I kind of just want to do my own thing, but I had to have an excuse for my parents, and I was like, okay, I've been cutting hair since I was 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. So when I was in the skating era, when I was just started skating when I was 12, I had long hair, that picture I sent you earlier, I had real long hair. But then when I was in 7th, 8th grade, I started getting I was into basketball and and then I was really into music. Music has always had a big influence on me.
You make music?
No. I wish I had musical talents. That's one thing that I do wish I had, but I just don't.
I'm actually.
I never was able to pick it up. My older brother could. He played guitar and stuff, but I could never do it. And but I always loved hip hop. And my cousin, I can give my cousin credit for that. He was our older brother, so we were all real close in age. So not old, my older brother wasn't old enough to put us on to stuff. We found things out at the same time. And our older cousin lived with us. He went to IUP when we were 10, 11, 12, and he introduced us to downloading music on LimeWire. And we were the Chronic and Biggie and Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, and everything else. And we were really big into, and even we loved and One Street Ball and the mixtapes, and we loved to play NFL Street, and I always soundtracks just always like attracted me, and I always loved watching MTV videos, and you know, like I remember seeing like Drop It Like It's Hot for the first time and just being like, damn, this is sweet. And like you said, it wasn't even like I thought about it tying all together, but it does, especially with fashion and everything as well. So as you know, like I said, my cousin put us on to all of that, and he's the same one that put us on to wrestling back in the day. So
what's your like
Attitude Era? You know, The Rock, Stone Cold.
What's your like? Well, who was your like favorite wrestler?
For some reason, Hulk Hogan. Like,
really?
I don't know. It wasn't even that he was like the most loudmouth. I just liked his Attitude Era Hogan, like with the blonde mustache and the black beard and like all the blue lightning and like everything. I just thought that was cool. And I'd have his toy. I had remember the plush ones?
Yeah, like
dude.
This, yeah.
And then they talk.
Yep. Like I had one of those too. I don't think I had Hogan.
They had Hogan. They had Sting.
I had someone else.
And then I always thought The Rock was a little too much drama for your mama and everything.
Yeah. I remember one day just randomly in school, I just decided to wear like, it was like during The Rock's era where he would wear these like button down shirts, like nice dress pants. I don't know what era that was or like what persona he was like playing it. He was like the villain or something. But like I remember I wore like an outfit like that to second grade, and like there's this girl and she made fun of me for like dressing like that, and I said like I just like started like a whole like dialogue as if I was The Rock. Like I just turned it, I channeled The Rock.
That's the cool thing about wrestling though.
Listen,
like, it's a
you know, like just,
it doesn't matter. What you
it doesn't matter what you think. You know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, and then I guess I already know we are getting so sidetracked. The music, like really kind of coming into my own style. I had the long hair because I liked Lords of Dogtown. Like I thought that like Jay Adams and like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a surfer skate style, so that's what I was into. But then I flipped the switch in like 7th, 8th grade, and one of my best friend's older brothers, they were like seniors in high school, and they had, you know, cars with subwoofers and wore Timberlands and fitteds and like listened to like all the cool music at the time, which honestly the music back then was unmatched. Like just
it's still
early 2000s hip hop.
You still throw it on, everyone's like
I started cutting hair. Like I saw them cutting hair, so then I started cutting hair. So like I went from having long hair to like a buzz cut with like my blonde hair trying to line my like, you know, I'd have them cut my hair, line me up, and then you know went and got earrings and everything else, and just that was like that became my style for a minent. And then, dude, oddly enough, then I started wearing like a preppy, like Sperry's,
really,
Hollister, Abercrombie, like
I feel like we kind of went through a lot of phases at the same time, to be honest with you.
I figured that's what we
really did. Like, because I look back, I remember I used to like wear like skate shoes in high school, but it was only because I had zero idea about sneakers, and like I didn't grow up.
And that's what people are wearing, dude. You go to PacSun, get some Etnies or BDS or
it was. Like I didn't skate a day in my life, but I wore the shoes. I mean people might like call me
poser.
Call me a poser, but dude, I genuinely didn't know like what shoes were cool. So like all my friends wore those, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll wear it. I just didn't care about.
Dude, growing up, my sneaker, like now it's like I have specific sneakers I like, but dude, I wore everything. New Balance, Reeboks, whatever I could find.
Like Nike Shocks every day, just because like that was just I would wear it to lifting after school.
I remember my track coach in like 7th grade was like just did not let us buy Shocks as track shoes. She's like, get Asics or you know, whatever.
I was a big Shocks guy. I think the first like pair of sneakers that I ever got, and I realized, you know, these are cool. People keep complimenting me on these. Was when I got like a pair of LeBrons, but it was like total.
People were like, "Yo, cool shoes."
Yeah, it was total like, you know, luck. Like it wasn't like I planned. Like I just went to the store and got a pair of shoes, and they were like, "Those are dope," and I was like, "Yeah, no." Like, but
I know that there was a reason. We were talking about, just football being a business.
Yeah.
And that's where we started drifting off. So like I started realizing how much of a business football is, and that goes back to like Heinz, you know, the name change. And am I actually upset? No, I realize it's a business. Like I was like posting stuff on the Instagram, and someone was in the comments like, it's because Heinz didn't renew their contract. I'm like, I know that. I know. Like I realized that. But I started realizing that football was like how much of a business it was when we first opened. like I said, we opened in 2018. I was 24, just out of college, kind of still living that. Like I feel like, although it's only been 4 years, like I feel like a full-grown adult now compared to what I was then. I'm sure. And a lot of the younger guys would come in, a lot of guys that were still on the practice squad, everything else. So
one of the guys that I worked with a lot last year, Ray. I saw he used to come here a lot. When he got signed by the 49ers, I think he came and grabbed like a San Fran jacket.
I have a package back there. I did a FaceTime shop with him.
Oh, sick.
And his baby mama, his girl Q, she's great.
Yeah, I've met her one time because Cody did a painting for him, and she got it for him. So she came and picked it. It was like a whole surprise. Yeah, it was so funny. She was sending us like videos. She literally had a blanket over it in their living room. Just a blanket over this giant canvas. And she sent us a picture. And then like, I was like, he doesn't notice this thing just like in his living room. She's like,
what it was.
No, she's like, no, he just does. He didn't even notice. He won't even. And then I was like, all right.
But dude, they're great. But kind of our first, so I used to have a barber chair right there. Mm-hmm. And I did haircuts when we first opened, but then I realized I just overbooked myself. Like, spread myself too thin. Like, thought I could do it all at once, but I couldn't. And thankfully, that's where my brother comes in, and my parents see that it's a legitimate thing. So I had to kind of convince my parents that this could be legitimate. I was like, I'm going to go get my barber license, and I'm going to open a barber shop. Yeah. You know, rather than just being like, I'm going to open this clothing store. My parents been like, you're crazy. This is not, like, do something legitimate. We just, like, you just paid all this money. We just paid all this money for college. Like, you need to use it. But I was like, I feel like this is my excuse. So found the space on Craigslist, got the barber chair here, got the racks up. And then, we opened from there. And the first guy who came in here was a running back named James Summers. Mm-hmm. And this was when, like, I started realizing that athletes are just people. And I cut his hair, and then he introduced me to Jalen Samuels, who he played high school football against. Oh, then Jalen Samuels they introduced me to James Conner. And then from there, that's kind of just where it took off. And it was Rel Edmonds. It was Rel Edmonds' rookie year. It was Marcus Allen's rookie year. Yeah. So, like, I'd just be here and word of mouth in the locker room, and dudes just pulled up. I still cut Cam Sutton's hair. And he's like one of the nicest dudes, the most genuine people that I know still to this day. That's awesome. But that was kind of how that happened. And like I said, it's all just been, and circling way back to like the first thing we said was just people coming by and having a relationship with us in the shop, no matter whether it was they came through and chopped it up with us or found something, found one of their favorite pieces or whatever, or whether that we bought something from them. So it started with just my personal collection. SpongeBob, cut in the SpongeBob thing. 3 hours later or 20 minutes later. Just that, like, it was personal things I thrifted, but then it turned into people finding out about us who had similar interests to us and then started selling to us. And then it hit a point where, like, we couldn't even handle all of the people that were selling to us, and we had to kind of scale it back. Like, just more than we could even. And now we're in a place where it's like we are looking for more people to sell to us again.
Oh, really?
More and more people are doing it their own. So a lot of people that used to sell to us now are doing their own thing, which I totally respect and appreciate too. It's nice to see. Like, you were just at Pittsburgh Pickers, which is an event that we started in 2018 as well. Very cool. So, and it's 20 vintage vendors, and each event it becomes more legitimate, and all of the vendors come correct, and it's cool to see. Like, and dude, one of your podcasts, you were talking about the Deion Sanders look good, feel good, play good. Mm-hmm. One of my coaches said that back in the day, and it always stuck with me, dude. But he was like my secondary coach, so on our football team we didn't have that many guys, so like you had to play both ways. Same. And I didn't like playing defense, man. Like, I was like, like I was a cornerback. Same. And I mean, I did not
what
like
was your first number? Like
33. That's my dad. Like, that was my dad's number back in the day.
My first flag football number was 77.
Or maybe 3-4. I had to pick 77. Like, you're about to be this tackle.
They just gave me a jersey. I was in like first grade flag football.
Yeah, I was always 33 or 34. Because my dad was 33 back in the day, and like there was always this picture in my house of him like taking one to the house. Like, he was a running back as well. In college? No, he did not. But my older brother did. My older brother was a quarterback. He like set records. Indiana rarely goes to the playoffs. Like, we're AAA, we're in the WPIAL, and we always get beat. So my years, we got beat by Montour second round, and then we got beat by Russell Shell, Hopewell. Yeah, and Russell Shell just shit on us. But I sent you that photo earlier that my mom sent me. My AOL name was Hot Sauce 3434. I was 34 at the time. Loved street ball. Hot Sauce, the professor. The professor was taken or something, so I just had to roll with Hot Sauce. But yeah, dude, no, sports numbers is something that like
mine was wide out 88.
That's like some shit like people use like their lunch number as their password.
What was your first screen name? AIM. Do you remember?
Deep Cut.
McAwesemo.
What?
Is that serious?
McAwesemo. Yeah.
Nice.
It was from Awesemo was from South Park. I think. I don't know if that's why I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that was a thing.
South Park was also a pivotal part of my humor back in the day when I was allowed to wear it or when I was allowed to watch it.
You said
he's come through. He always hits me about wrestling tees and South Park tees.
He was the guy that always put me on to wrestling in South Park because my parents, like, they let me, you know, my dad was into like wrestling and stuff, but they weren't as into like, they wouldn't let me it was so weird.
I mean, dude, you probably shouldn't. Looking back on it, you probably shouldn't be allowed to watch it.
Toxic,
You know,
bro. So bad. All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up here in a couple minutes, but I have one more segment that I want to introduce. This is the first time we're doing this segment. Okay, so
getting sweaty.
Yeah, so we're gonna call this. I'm sure I'm not the first like sports podcast to like call this segment this, but it's gonna be we're gonna do a 2-minute drill. Okay, so I'm gonna do kind of like rapid fire questions, and you can just answer them. There's no like clock on this, but we're gonna try to like keep it moving, and then if we want to like talk about some of this after, we can. Cool. But okay, so like first thing that comes to your mind. You ready for these? All right, first question. Favorite moment playing a sport? All right, time's up. I'm just kidding.
Probably.
That's a hard
dude,
one.
I feel like first Grand Slam.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It took until I was 12. You know, like in Little League, you're 10 to 12. When you're 10, like you're afraid of getting like pegged by the 12-year-old pitchers and stuff. But like year 12 started coming into my own and I cranked a Grand Slam.
Dang.
And that or like in football, taking back the opening kick.
House one?
Yeah.
What age?
Dude, I was a kick returner my sophomore year.
Really?
And my brother did the same thing. Fedco Zone called him the Super Sophomore Sensation, which he called a bunch of people that.
Yeah.
But he took one to the house during a playoff game when I was like in 9th grade and he was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And like we just thought it was the shit,
Oh,
you
that's
know?
the best.
I feel like that.
I've only housed one. It was a punt, and it got called back.
Dude, that's how I broke my leg.
Really?
Senior year, I was a punt returner. We were playing Penn Trafford and someone dove at my shin and a helmet straight into my shin as my leg was planted.
Oh, geez.
Most painful, by far the most painful injury of my life.
Oh,
but anyways,
okay, it's not so rapid fire. We'll get better at this section, okay? So, all right, this next one is favorite moment watching sports.
Super Bowl 33.
33?
Holmes in the corner.
43.
Or 43, yeah.
Yep.
Wait, Super Bowl XL. Oh, 50. Wait.
43.
43, yeah.
Yep. We won 40 and then 43.
Exactly.
And then we lost
That's
like 45.
Yep. Super Bowl 40. I mean, that was sweet, but I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
I was like a freshman in high school. That drive, Big Ben in the back of the end zone, or James Harrison taking it to the house.
Yeah.
I
vividly remember both of those plays.
Yeah, that's gotta be be it.
All right, best uniform.
I wish I was older at the time though, because my friends' older brothers who influenced me with like cutting hair and fashion, like they set a couch on fire.
I was a senior. I was a senior in high school, and that year was when the Pens and it was like,
dude, that was
I'm graduating high school. The Penguins won the cup.
Dude,
the Steelers won the Super Bowl. I'm like, my life's gonna be the best life.
That's hard to pick
as a sports fan.
That's hard to choose from, but like one of the Penguins cups.
Yeah. Because that first one was like,
even their most recent.
It's been so long since their last one. You know.
Yeah. But
all right,
I'd say
best uniform in sports currently. Any sport, basketball, football, baseball.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for this one. Best uniform in sports. Dude, I love Penguins bringing back the diagonal.
That's dope.
That's
so
like,
clean.
And I feel like as far as,
do you like it or do you like the reverse alternate of the white version?
I like the black. I like the classic because to me, one of the most pivotal moments for sports intertwining with music and fashion is Snoop in the Gin and Juice video.
Yeah.
Like that's,
You know, Ray wanted me to do a pair of cleats for him last year based off of the Gin and Juice, album.
Yeah,
And
okay.
or the cover art or whatever it is,
Right.
with like he's like laying on the house, the dog house.
Picture it.
It's like almost like Snoopy.
That's the Dog Pound. Yeah, that's the whole album.
So he wanted the album cover art, but he sent me
Can we
like,
take a moment for a small chronic break? Yeah, that whole album.
yeah.
is
So
like
he wanted
classic.
that, and I said, bro, you gotta let me paint Snoop in the Pittsburgh jersey on the cleats.
Did it get on?
And it ended up they didn't. We lost to the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
I actually still have those cleats, and I'm gonna work on them and send them to him because he was like, just make them in San Fran colors now.
That game and that time period added years onto my life. But anyways,
yeah. All right, that's a good answer.
Added years, took away.
Yeah.
Took
I knew
away.
what you meant. All right, best pregame hype song of all time.
Ooh. Seventh grade football. We ready. Archie. What's his? R.I.P. I think he passed away this year.
It's a great song.
But yeah, that is.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
I mean, it's not like what I would put on right now if I had to like go out for like a.
You got the whole squad bumping that song ready right before you take it, like come out of the locker room. You guys, that's a good one. Best retro uniform in sports history. So best
retro.
Yeah, best retro, like a uniform that doesn't exist now. Like if you could
either like
a
Coyotes hockey jersey. Dude, the Whalers had dope hockey jerseys too.
Did.
Oilers is such a sick colorway.
Yeah.
I'm just naming like 5.
That's cool.
As far as jerseys that they don't use all the time, to me, the Color Rush Steelers jersey was like an all-time classic.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I loved.
I mean, it's hard on the spot. I'm
like
sure you're going to forget
Buccos,
something.
like I'm a big fan of the red brim hat.
We just had Tyler Beatty in the studio. My buddy Cody's filming a show for that he's going to put on YouTube as well. It's really dope. Check it out on his YouTube channel. But yeah, it's launching in the fall. But he's like pre-recording all the episodes. He had Tyler, and Tyler dropped off a pair of cleats to Cody, and he was like, they're like red and black Nike's cleats, but he was like, put a yellow swoosh on this because a bunch of us guys on the team are pushing to get the red back into the
dude,
the uniforms.
I mean, one also is the Robo Penguins with the where it's like gradient.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
Yager.
But one of a homie, Jordan Calmadina, he's a bullpen catcher for the Pirates.
Okay,
big supporter of local Pittsburgh brands. Also has his own brand, Downtime Clothing, and he's real big on like he gives me all of his fitteds from games.
Sick.
So like Mother's Day, Father's Day, where it's
dope.
like blue tie-dye and everything else because we wear the same size fit.
I guess I never thought about that. They get to keep all. There's so many hats.
Red. Yeah, he loves the like tying red in, and if you can pull blue and everything else, like I love that with Pittsburgh colors.
Dope. All right, next question. We're halfway through the list here. All right, these get a little, you got to think about these a little bit more, but I think these are going to be fun. You can only watch one sports movie for the rest of your life.
Oh, Sandlot.
Yeah,
no
doubt. You mentioned that earlier.
It's so funny. It just makes you feel good. You know?
It's so good.
Yeah, I think that's like undisputed for me.
Okay. You can only wear apparel from one sport for the rest of your life. Basketball, you can't wear like any jerseys from any other sport.
Apparel. I mean, probably basketball because there's shorts involved. There's,
no hockey jerseys though. You gotta, because then you can never wear your like Penguin jersey.
Yeah, I definitely, as far as jerseys, I wear the most often. Dude, I've realized I love jerseys, but I more than anything love the old graphic T-shirts.
Gotcha. So like, okay, so you can only you'd pick basketball because there's like some really dope graphic basketball T-shirts.
If we're talking just jerseys or shorts as well.
I guess just jerseys. I just made these questions up, so there's technically no rules. Whatever you want to.
Well, with basketball, I always got to wear like a shirt underneath or a hoodie because I'm like string bean. But that's tough. I mean, I can't really casually wear football jerseys unless I'm like, going to a game.
Yeah,
it's hard. But even then, dude, I'm always about just wearing, like, I love like just obscure graphic T-shirts.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a category of its own.
But Steelers by far, but team wise, if you look at my collection, Steelers is lopsided by far.
All right, cool. Let's see. What's this next question? You could Okay, I like this question a lot. You can trade places with any athlete from any moment in sports history and like live that moment. Like you're in their body. You live that moment. But you have to execute the moment. Like if you're taking over Big Ben in Super Bowl 43,
Oosh.
you get to live that moment, but you got to make the pass. And if you don't,
it's a different
outcome for history.
Changes.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you got to be able to execute the play and but if you execute it, you get to live in that moment.
Damn.
What shot you hitting, what save you making. I know it's tough.
That is. I'm trying to think of a final goal that like
would you want to be Fleury, like diving over and just like making that last save?
I want to say one of the Penguins, and I'm trying to jog my memory of like which Stanley Cup ended in Pittsburgh. Can we get a reference on that?
I don't think any of them did.
None of them?
None of them did.
Damn, okay.
But if you're thinking of the first one that Fleury won, where it was against the Red Wings, when he like dove to the right and just made that last second save. Because that one I feel like it takes a lot of skill, because if you've ever played goalie, just pushing off on the ice and getting from one side of the net to the other is just so hard.
Yeah, just being on skates, I know I could not play hockey.
I played roller hockey goalie for like my whole life, and then I played ice once.
Let me be Willie Parker in Super Bowl 40.
So you got his speed. You're gonna hit the hole and just
Let me. Yeah, I think
that's a good one, because you can minimal room for error.
Yeah,
the blocks are just
doable.
perfect.
Like I'm not gonna be Big Ben throwing it to San Antonio.
Right.
There's like sports science about that play.
It's like
the
impossible.
chances of it happening.
Yeah, but Willie had a hole that he just you could just drive.
I'll take
through
that. Or how about on Big Ben with the shoestring tackle after Bussy fumbled it at the goal line?
Unbelievable.
No, not that.
Yeah,
but I'd say fast Willie Parker.
That's a good one. Yeah. Dive into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that one. All right. Last question here. This is like a spin-off of like, the famous game, but this is play, watch, retire, okay, between sports. Football, basketball, hockey. You can only play one of them, you can only watch one of them, and then the other one you just have nothing to do with. You can't play or watch.
Play, watch, retire.
So which one are you playing, which one are you watching, and this is for the rest of your life?
Ooh. I mean, both hockey and football are like really physically take a toll on your body.
Yeah.
Like maybe... Oh, dude, that's real tough.
Yeah.
Because like playing baseball would probably be the best on your body.
Yeah.
And
if you want to swap baseball out, what's your three sports? Football, basketball, and baseball would be the three.
Yeah, but then also, dude, like I grew to love lacrosse. My school got it my junior year.
Yeah.
Chase is really good at lacrosse, and he plays local box adult league lacrosse with Ben Petchel and
shut up,
dude, and those guys, I love those. Like the lacrosse dudes have been coming through here a lot more often.
Oh, cool.
And my brother, it's something that he did in college. He was able to start playing lacrosse in 7th and 8th grade, so he's really good.
All right, so let's switch this question up to be. It'll be. Let's do basketball, lacrosse, and baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball, lacrosse, baseball. Which one you playing, watching, and
maybe play. Honestly, as far as I loved basketball growing up, I don't really watch it a whole lot now.
Okay.
I could do without it.
Okay. So you're gonna play basketball, or
no,
that's your you're throwing basketball out?
And then I don't want to just be stuck with watching baseball though, dude. What? All right, throw football instead of baseball.
Okay. Do you want to keep the original football, basketball, hockey, or do you want to
play lacrosse?
Okay.
Play lacrosse. Watch football.
Okay.
And just baseball, basketball, it's fine. It's more of like I like the nostalgic aspect of basketball. Like I'm not one to like watch it actively. Right. And same with baseball too. But like football, when it's football season, like I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do without that.
Same. Cool. Well, you made it through the 2-minute drill. It took about 15 minutes, but you made it. Well done. I got one more thing for you before we call it an episode. Okay. This is like a segment we've done a couple times now, and we have. I think this episode will be dropping at the end of July. Okay, so I'm building up for another show on the YouTube channel. As if you guys are watching right now, definitely hit subscribe, because there's another show coming to this channel where we're going to kind of embody this whole segment, and it's going to be a viewer submission type show. So if you're watching this, you can start to think about what you're going to do and send in these videos. Basically, people will send in whatever their concept idea is of like a uniform they wish would be real. So like, I wish the Steelers had a purple alternate. I don't know why that would ever happen, but like, what would it look
Ravens,
like?
oof.
I'm just crazy. Like
I love purple
whatever
as a
you're
color for a uniform,
saying.
but like the Ravens kind of killed that.
But what I'm saying is like whatever they envision, you send in a video of you describing it the same way Benny Snell did on the previous episode, same way we're about to do right now. From head to toe, describe the uniform. I'll mock it up on the show. Bring your mock up to life, and then it's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's what this segment is. It's that. So now you get a chance to just describe to me whatever you think would be like a uniform that you'd like to see.
So we're sticking to football. I think what would make most sense with this is just murdered out. Black helmet.
Okay. Is this a Steeler design?
Oh, yeah. Well, could it be a Steeler design?
Sure.
I'm trying to think how the Steeler
Are you just saying
logo
a
would
concept
tie in.
in general?
Yeah, that was like my all over print with all of the Pittsburgh brands.
Okay.
So I guess it would have to be a Steeler uniform.
Let's do a Steeler.
So this is like obviously
most of my demographic Steeler
so
fans
much
anyway.
Copyright
So
infringement, so much, but that's okay.
It's like my whole
it's a Steeler
life.
uniform. And then there's just I love all over print items. So do I pull the jacket out or this?
I think
afterwards?
Do we have?
Okay, so per reference. Because to me, the jersey's most important. I didn't give a whole lot of thought to like the rest of the uniform.
Right.
But like these classic early 2000s all over print patches.
Yep.
I'm thinking it's a Steelers jersey. There's all just like Pittsburgh staples on it.
Okay.
Old and new. So traditional, you got Iron City, Kennywood, Turner's, Hines.
Yep.
Well, who knows
Acrisure.
what the new... No, absolutely not. What was I was going through my head? This is where I didn't want to forget anything that I was saying.
Yeah.
Even just down to like things that were personal to me. So like Fiore's Pizza, Page's Dairy Mart.
Got it.
You know?
So
I mean, if you want to do...
You can send me a list after this too, because I'm going to mock this up and I'm going to try to make some patches.
I got the list. WDVE.
Yep.
But then local brands that I enjoy. So like a Zeds logo. A sports logo, Good Sports, which we discussed that earlier.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie Stephen Jake. A Hounds H. And Athletic.
What's the Hounds H? No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Act like you don't know. An Athletic Aesthetic patch. What was my last? Even like the Pickers logo, something like that. So something where it's all patchwork over.
Yeah.
And if you think of any Pittsburgh brands that are like staples to you, throw it on, because there's plenty of room for patches.
I'm picturing too, like, because like, it's a uniform, so it's got to have numbers. I'm picturing almost like on the front, like the Steelers had those the bumblebees, and they had like the block patch numbers. Yeah. Like I wonder if like the numbers are a patch in themselves, or like where does the number go?
Well,
and is the helmet the same way, where some of the patches are just all over the helmet
can
too?
Be, I guess like the number, I'd have to see it come to life, but block numbers. As far as the helmet, like an all over print on the helmet too.
Yeah, like do you have the hat? Like a hat that resembles this?
I think it's back there to the left on the counter. Just right to the left there. Or no,
like actually behind the counter?
POS system.
In the front.
My bad. I mean, dude, I don't know if this is OD. Then you gotta like get the pants all over print too.
I think we just go for it. This is like the helmet.
Something like that, yeah. So that's the helmet. That's dope. And it's just all over the place.
That'd be crazy.
As much as it can be without it being too much.
Love it, dude. All right, we're gonna mock it up. We'll see what it looks like.
I'll drop that.
Any specific player you think you'd like to see it mocked up on? Who's your guy?
Let me think.
Cam. Mock it up on him.
I would have said Ray. And Ray definitely was our most frequent shopper because he loves vintage, and that's something that we.
Ray's like that's
our specialty.
He's
but
the
he mixes
coolest
it all.
guy
Like
I've
he
ever
mixes
met.
it all. We have a little bit of streetwear.
Yeah.
And there was a time where we had a lot of designer, which brought a lot of the guys in. So now it's like, really, it's like, dude, I just want people to come in here if they genuinely want to be here and are looking for things that they like what we have. That's all. Like, and that's what we are about is, as much as we are a business and we're operating, we need to operate. At this point, I'm taking care of my family, taking care of my employees. They're taking care of their families, everything else. It comes down to just like selling cool shit that we think is cool.
Yeah. I love it, man.
So yeah, and that's, I guess, but with that being said, I'd maybe have to have Cam lend an ear, because he's a minimalistic type of guy. Like, he's got swag. But one of my favorite moments from him was he got this crew neck from us, and it's the classic, like a Steeler character peeing on the Browns character.
Oh, yeah.
And he wore it walking out.
Oh, that's
and
sick.
like people made T-shirts of him wearing it walking
Oh,
out.
that's
You know,
awesome.
like it was a big deal that at the time.
Yeah.
I think he'd be open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That'd be dope.
And then something I know, like you pay a lot of attention to every little detail, like gloves, armbands, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something that I kind of, I guess, I don't know. I haven't paid as much attention to that. So I guess like I'm lacking on the details of like what the rest of the uniform.
Yeah, I'll fill in the blanks.
All right,
I'll fill in the blanks. You
thank
gave me.
you.
I just need an
Your
overall
specialty.
theme, you know, and then I'll pull it together.
Hell yeah.
Benny gave me like so many ideas. And I was like,
dude, the bridge was fire though.
well, I kind of mocked it up.
Want to
and
throw a little logo for the golden triangle on there?
Yeah.
Throw a bridge on there? That'd be nice.
I actually didn't expect Benny's to go as crazy viral as it did, and I say viral loosely. I mean, it's got like, I think 100-some thousand views on YouTube or whatever.
Last thing I would say, if there is a way to work in accents of the red and the blue,
Okay.
I agree. That's something that I love.
You want to do that?
Yeah, like when a shirt, like look at like that shirt up there, where it's mostly blue.
Yep.
Like I love when
when
a t-shirt pops like that, or like that one back there.
Yeah.
Like the blue and red to me, that sets it off.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I would have probably mocked Benny's up to look a little different if I could do it again, knowing it would go so viral. But I don't know that if it would have went so viral if I made it. I think part of the viralness of it was that it was kind of ugly, and a lot of people hated it. So, you know, it's just like people.
Dude, that's the thing. Going viral isn't everything it's cracked up to
people
be.
Comment.
Sometimes it goes viral and there's just an overwhelming amount of haters.
I texted Benny the next day and I was like, "Hey man, listen, I hope you're not getting any like death threats for like this uniform edit that you made."
And that's something that like I've kind of come to learn is like I continue to just post things that I like.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to go viral, because no matter what happens, if it's something that I did because I liked it.
But with the Benny one, people either absolutely love it or they want to kill it.
I feel like this will be the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless you're a diehard Yinzer.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not? You know? But,
well, cool, man. Thank you for doing this. Is there anything else like how can people find you, follow you, any events coming up that you want to plug, whatever?
Shop Zeds on everything. Instagram and I guess Facebook, just because it automatically posts to Facebook, but I'm getting older, but I still don't like actively use Facebook that much. So it goes straight to Facebook. You can find us Zeds on Facebook. Shop Zeds on Instagram. ShopZeds.com is our website.
If you're watching from not in Pittsburgh, you can buy online.
Yes, there was a time when we had like 1,000 items on our website, but we are going for more of a quality over quantity. And the website is something that we're going to work on for followers that are not in Pittsburgh. But it kind of comes to it's trial and error. And then it always circles back to us just like feeling like our Pittsburgh presence and our in-store presence is always most important to us. And just like those, you know, I don't know, it's just a different connection. But
cool, man.
For now, that's all. Yeah.
Awesome.
1931 East Carson Street, down the south side.
Cool. Stop through. Cole, did we miss anything?
I'm going to sleep this whole time. I don't know.
All right, cool. Well, this has been great, man. Thank you for doing this.
Appreciate
you. This has been great. It's the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. If you guys enjoyed, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, any of those platforms, make sure you rate and review the show. That's how it bumps it up in the algorithm. All that good stuff. Share this.
Algorithm.
Dude, it really is the most... it's a villain. So.
I'm just at peace with it, man.
Yeah.
Like if it's out of my control, I'm cool with it.
Same.
But also, and then
also I want to do this more. So you know, I want to eventually be able to like this be the thing. So the more you more you share and interact with the stuff,
you're
I
the
really
most
appreciate
consistent
it. So
dude, I know with the reels and stuff, right? Because it is a lot to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It really is.
There's some days where I have things lined up of like tasks or whatever, and then I'm just like, I just made
perfectionist.
posts today. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like a full day of work. But anyways.
Q Renegade. Q Renegade.
That's it.